Joining us now is Georgia Congressman Buddy Carter. Congressman Carter, if you heard, some of the discussion there, the argument is that continuing the Trump tax cuts benefits the rich, especially billionaires. What do you think about that? How do you answer that charge?
Nothing could be further from the truth. I mean, this is just the Democratic playbook. Those trying to convince Americans that if we're doing this, we're doing it for billionaires. Quite the opposite. This is going to save almost 80% of all Americans from some suffering through the highest tax increase that they've ever seen, a 22% tax increase. You know, the Biden-Harris administration got us into the economic ditch, and President Trump, if he can get these tax cuts extended and made permanent, we can get back to the prosperity that we enjoyed during his first term.
Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana is not a big fan of, the idea that you raise taxes on certain groups to pay for the rest of the tax cut. Listen.
There is some discussion, some rhetoric, as we put together a reconciliation bill about raising taxes on certain folks, primarily the so-called rich. I'm not a big believer in envy taxes. I don't believe in making tax policy on the basis of class warfare. I hope we don't do that.
It sounds like, Congressman, that you would agree with what Senator Kennedy has to say.
Absolutely, I agree. Look, we can do this without raising taxes on anyone. Everybody wants to say, and the Democrats want to say, and get out of their playbook and say, oh, this is just a tax break for the billionaires. We need to tax them more. Nothing can be further from the truth. They're already paying more than their fair share. What we can do here is to save the average taxpayer, the middle-class taxpayer, from suffering through a 22% increase. If we can make these permanent, if we can extend these tax cuts, we can get this economy out of the ditch that Biden and Harris got us into, and we can return back to the prosperity that the first Trump administration gave us.
Well, as you well know, we are running a $1 trillion deficit in this country. China pays for a lot of that by buying up that debt. How do you avoid continuing these deficits if we don't have some source of revenue?
Well, we need revenue. We don't necessarily have a revenue problem in Washington, D.C. We've got a spending problem. That's why the product that was produced by the Budget Committee that I serve on was such a good product, because we're calling for $1.5 trillion in savings over the next 10 years, plus a growth rate of 2.8%, which is going to save us about $2.6 trillion over the next 10 years. If we can combine those two things, then we can cut down on our deficit spending. Yes, we still have a ways to go, but at the same time, we're making progress here.
You were criticizing the Biden administration over its handling of the budget. President Trump is also critical over the way they handled Iran and Hamas. Listen.
I'm for stopping Iran, very simply, from having a nuclear weapon. They can't have a nuclear weapon. I want Iran to be great and prosperous and terrific. I stopped them once they were broke and they didn't have any money for Hamas. They didn't have any money for Hezbollah. There wouldn't have been an October 7th disaster. They were broke. They had no money, and they weren't spending it to terrorist organizations because they had none.
Is he right?
He is right, and he is approaching this in the right way, and that is from a position of strength. You know, it will be in Iran's best interest if they deal with President Trump. President Trump is offering them an opportunity here that they need to seize upon, because he is negotiating from a position of strength, very Reagan-esque, and it reminds me of Reagan in the Cold War. And this is something that the Biden-Harris administration did not do, and that's why we got in so much trouble in Iran. And that's why this president, who is negotiating from this position of strength, that's why he's going to be able to stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon in the future. Congressman
Buddy Carter, Republican of Georgia. Congressman, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.